at some point, these fixes, chemical and informational fixes of our lifestyle, have got to feed back into greater happiness, or what's the point of it? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, something, we talk about DMT and all this. Remember, it's just 3 tokes away, and it only lasts 10 minutes. So your major problem, I suppose, is accessing it. Well, why are you sitting here, for crying out loud? In other words, if you worked at accessing it 24 hours a day, how the hell long would it take before you accessed it? I'm sure there are people in this room who could help you. So if you didn't meet them this weekend, well, then you wandered in the wilderness. What were you doing? Sitting by the brook, browsing in the bookstore? You blew it. It's to be sought. And what? Well, it's an intelligence test. That would give it away. You're supposed to figure it out. My notion is, once I have performed my job, which is telling you this stuff exists, and I tell it in such a dramatic way that you're supposed to doubt me. And so then the only way to prove that I'm full of it is to go out and find this stuff, smoke it, and then come find me and tug at my wrist and say, I smoked it, and nothing, or whatever. And one person in 20 will be able to do that, but the other 20 will come, with flowers, offerings, incense, and the sound of yellow brass, because this is there, and it's a real thing. I mean, if I were to tell you that you should go meet the flying saucers, or go find Atlantis, or go find Bodhi Mind, for that matter, it's a pretty tall order. Where do you begin? But finding DMT, it's matter. It's an object in this world. If you wanted a print by Hieronymus Bosch, you'd know how to proceed. If you wanted to buy the Koh-i-Noor diamond, you'd know how to proceed. If you needed a Mercedes, you'd know how to proceed. If you wanted a first edition of the poetry of E.E. Cummings, you'd know how to proceed. Why do you have so much trouble figuring this out? Just proceed as you would in the pursuit of any other defined material object. Basically put the word out that money is no object. And I'm sure you'll be amazed at how the market responds. You mean practical tools? Basically, in the short term, I don't eat for 6 hours. I don't call that fasting. I just call it emptying my stomach. I don't fast because I get dizzy and have headaches, and why fast? It's going to work anyway. But I don't eat meat or stuff, greasy food and sugar and stuff like that leading into it. I fast for 6 hours, and then I do it in a quiet, secure, not likely to be interrupted space. And so those are the short term, and I smoke cannabis on psychedelics. I navigate with cannabis. I cannot imagine taking psychedelics without cannabis. In fact, wouldn't. That would just, if there was no cannabis, that would be the problem to be solved, and we couldn't think of getting loaded until we had that nailed down. In terms of longer term preparation, how do you really prepare? By cultivating wonder, imagination, and curiosity. Curiosity is really the psychedelic impulse in the absence of psychedelics. If you like to look at things, paintings, ants, bugs, butterflies, flowers, and, pay attention. Look at things. And then the other thing is love knowledge and love the weird. Love the fringes of knowledge. I said at some point in this weekend that the alien intelligence is a collagist. It can work. The more you put into your head, the more far out your trips can be. There are people so lumpen that you give them DMT and they come down with the standard stereotype of the psychedelic drug taker. Pretty colors. Well, you have to be pretty dumb to come away with the impression that all there was pretty colors. So, read strange stuff. Go to strange places. There's an old alchemical saying, something like this. The highest mountains, the wildest deserts, the oldest books, there will you find the stone. And so it's all about, the common opinion should be rejected on principle. I mean, this sometimes makes you seem kind of quirky, because everybody's running toward fish, and you're talking about buxtehude. Everybody's interested in sushi, and, you want fermented mare's milk. But usually you find out that by behaving in this way, you end up ahead of the curve. And life is beautiful without psychedelics. Psychedelics simply make you aware of that primarily, and then secondarily lead you deeper into it. The affirmation of psychedelics is not the affirmation of an ideological position or a moral point of view. It's the affirmation of the existence of beauty itself. The pursuit of psychedelics is the pursuit of beauty. The taking of psychedelics is a religion of Platonic beauty. To know that it exists and to live one's life in the shadow of that knowing is transformative and carries us and the rest of evolution forward. So that's the weekend, folks. That's the wrap. Thank you very, very much.